if anyone knows what APD actually stands for. Altus Police Department. That's the name of their team right now. DG and them parted ways for reasons that probably shouldn't be discussed on stream, but otherwise, they are now known as the Altus Police Department, and they are going to be second bans. The regime is going to have the first bans, likely going to see something meta, probably an attacker like a Lion or Glaz. At this point, not going to be surprising.
Yeah, I mean, with Lion being permanent banned, we don't have to really worry about the Lion ban coming through as a specific attacker banning game, but it'll always rain out there that no one's going to be able to ban or pick him. And, oh, yeah, I guess we should mention that as well. We're getting keynotes here from production as well. The one shield rule. So this was a rule that was voted upon from the team captains within CCS. And we did a vote between North America and EU. And North America enacted this rule, which is you can only have one shield on attack. And that includes Blackbeard. So you can't rock a BB and a Blitz or a BB and a Montaigne together. One of the shields actually is going to be banned out as well, which is going to round out our attacking bans. That was a rule that was enacted in North America, but not elected to be taken up in EU. So that's an interesting variance in opinion between the two leagues.
So the interesting thing is also APD was one of, if I'm correct, they were one of the teams to actually deny the ban. They did not want it to go through.
Yeah.
But ironically, the players of APD are not known for playing shields. They're not like reliant on shields very much, whether it be Blackbeard or stuff like Monty, Blitz. It's more other teams in this season. And right now, as we see, they even ban out a shield themselves. They don't want the Montaigne in play at the moment. Regime with the Maestro ban, pretty meta, Mira as well. But APD banning out the Monty is likely a counter ban against some of the Regime players that they know they've studied some VODs or something like that. And that is something directly targeted towards them because, again, Yaga, Dot, Talon, none of these players are shield players. They all have the gun skill and the movement ability. They don't need that shield in front of their face. They don't make strats around shields. It's just that, yeah, I mean, it's something that's going to pretty much hurt Regime only in this case, in this matchup at least.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's mainly, I would say, out of any specific team in CCS in this season, it would be the Sinister Academy. That was a team last season that we saw a lot of shield play out of, specifically Blitz and Blackbeard tandem together. It's interesting that, yeah, DG was the one that didn't want that to be sent through because, yeah, you're right. They aren't necessarily shield players. And this is also an interesting alteration. So I've commented on it in the past when Bolo has been playing for when they were disrupted, now the APD. When Bolo had been playing in the past in CCS, he had been either delegated or relegated, whichever way you want to look at it, to a breaching role. Playing a lot of support on defense, playing a lot of breach on attack. And now we're starting round one. I mean, it is only the first round of the first map. However, we are starting round one with him on entry on Ash. That's interesting to me, especially because now they have Talon. My biggest concern with this team, at least last season, was that there were no specific support players or reservist players. Anyone could play like a flex role. Anyone could take that mentality of trying to stay alive versus trying to take a peek that may or may not be ill-advised depending on the situation. But with Talon in, I mean, that affords you a very, very smart player who could facilitate a breach role, and now you've then opened up a gap for Bolo to fill in on an entry role, and this will be the first time I've at least seen Bolo on an entry role in a competitive game.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him. I mean, since I've seen him, because I remember the last time I saw that he was in competitive, he was on Dexterity. That was a long time ago that I casted his game back in ESA in a whole other league. But right now, as we see, all three players right now from the APD side coming in from the west side of the building. Ash already in the kitchen, EXO already clearing out the first floor, but Yaga's gonna get picked off first by Stunner Boy, actually, surprisingly with pistol too. He probably downed him with the gun entirely, but 1 minute into the round, not even in fact, and Yaga on the Zofia, that's a bunch of utility and a very capable player already off the board by this Jaeger. Jaeger's gonna go for another run out too, but he's not gonna find anyone just yet. Capitao doesn't know about him though. and shots going to be exchanged, and Dot does get the frag onto him, so it's an important refrag for the Jaeger that got the pick so early onto the side of APD.
Good refrag there from Dot Dash, honestly, to hold his ground inside Garage, and a very aggressive play there from Stunna. He was holding his ground inside of Armory quite well. There was no real need to extend out and attempt for the push other than possibly a man count advantage, but sacrifice your life like that and you lose the most powerful weapon on the defensive side, all at the sacrifice of dealing absolutely no damage onto Dot Dash. In the meantime, though, Fish is going to pick up a kill onto Bolo with the MP5 SD. Main staying inside of Kid's bedroom. Tyler as well going to tack on a kill onto Exo. So we're down to Dot Dash and Talon left in a 2v4. Fish is taking a lot of damage through the floor at the hands of Exo's electronics detector with the suppressed pistol firing skyward through the floorboards. And Talon now evading a nitro cell being launched out of the armory stairs, launching a flashbang to the top as well. Being quick peeked now by Fish. And then behind the deployable shield, the succeeding bolt comes out from Dot Dash to repel the angle, and now Toxic Babe lands at the Dot Dash, pulling it back further. There goes Tyler taking down Talon, leaving Dot Dash in a 1v4. Hunkered inside of the armory, he's got a flank coming down from below of Fish, the bearing knife in hand. The bullets will whiz past and not connect on Dot Dash. A little over half HP, backing off deeper and deeper into the hole of armory with no real progression to be made, no way to breach open a hole for another avenue of entry in towards Master. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, dancing around the corner, back and forth, trying to evade the flurry of bullets hailing towards him. All it takes is one to connect on the head to end the round. 20 seconds dancing back and forth, at least grab one onto Fish, but again, loses even more valuable health in the process. 15 seconds tick away, and there's more toxic smoke stopping his ingress in towards the master hallway, and Tyler with a 3K on the round will peek out, drop Dot Dash, and secure the first round for the defending team, whose name once again escapes me. It's Regime. There we go.
That is a very, very convincing round from Regime, and that's not something I expected, to be honest. Of course, you guys know I predicted a very easy victory for DG, or excuse me, APD, apologies, at the beginning of this game, but right now that was a round one that was completely in the hands of Regime. They had a grasp around APD the entire round, getting the first pick without even a minute off the board from the Jaeger. That's a defensive pick. That means that somehow Yaga, one way or another, extended a bit too far, and he was alone. There was no instant refrag either. And somehow the Jaeger just got a pick onto him, and that was the start of a very hard clamp down onto APD's attack. And surprisingly as well, they were pushing very standardizedly from the west side of the building, which is kind of the take that most teams normally go for. But, I mean, of course, higher level games, you don't see that very often, probably because it doesn't work very well. In the case of this, Regime having locked down that attack so well, that's surprising from them. Admittedly, they might not have expected a top 3 defense coming out from the first round, APD, I mean, but even still, these guys are capable players, and they know how to play this map in order to take it to that kind of, you know, for it to be that one-sided. That's very surprising to me, at least. And now, finally, the basement defense coming out. This is a bit more standard, usually the site you see first, but indicating to me that Regime do have a bunch of strats they know, and they are expectant of this Oregon pick by DG Summer, APD, excuse me. That's going to take me a while. But they are not scared of this pick at all from APD coming out. And similar to the first round, they're pushing kind of a bit substandard, but right now they're going for a back tower take, and Fish is the first line of defense here at the moment. He's already going to get lit up to about 40 HP right off the bat, 30 seconds on the board, and he needs to find a way to survive or get a reset, because this is quite a lot of pressure being put onto him right now. Starboy already going to be rotating down to the basement, and they've just given up Big Tower with a minute. That's 30 seconds, and that's Big Tower control for the attackers.
It's monumental there for the APD to be able to flush Fish out of his position on the back tower stairs. You know, they invest a lot of time and location into that, and the drone here from Dot Dash is actually going to miss the location, but Tyler will get droned out, and Yaga will clean the kill from inside a meeting, and that was your last man standing inside of that meeting hole. He gets picked apart very surgically from the APD as they move their way in for a tower take and execute quite well, flushing everyone out. They aren't able to secure the kill and completely eliminate the threat of the yokai drones until now. As I say that, Exo will finish off Fish from the damage he had dealt previously up on T2 stairs. So an immediate evacuation here for Regime downstairs. They're going to have to try and anchor in the site for a little over a minute and a half That's a lot of time as Dotdash continues to whittle away the remaining defenders. It's just Wrath and Sharsh now left alone. As I say that, Sharsh will grab one, but Bola trades it immediately out and dropping down into the box to clean it up with a double kill onto Sharsh and Wrath. The APD respond back in force with a back tower take that's nearly flawless.
In force, definitely. The police force here, hands up, get on the ground. These guys just dropped all at once, and if I'm correct, only one person in that round fell, and that was EXO, and he did get a frag before that, so he did what he was supposed to do. Kind of a reverse sweep in that round. Yaga being the first casualty of round 1, finding the first frag on round 2, leading his team into that win. Bolo, of course, cleaning up the last 2 on the site. That was a very convincing take from the attackers of APD in that round. Completely opposite of what we saw round 1. They're going to go back to Laundry Supreme to try that again, but knowing that, they might want to rotate back to top floor considering how that defensive hold went eventually. Of course, right now they can't because of that 2-set rotation rule, but they're going to have to do something differently, whether it be hold big tower a bit more securely and not fall back with 30 seconds on the clock for some reason. That was a bit confusing. Admittedly, they had gotten lit up, but these guys have the gun skill to be able to contest those angles, and they just gave it up. Like, I don't know, they weren't confident enough to hold those or something. But either way, giving the attackers that much time to set up, that is a lot of utility that the attackers don't need to use to clear out all these different angles. They have drones, they can see that all these 5 men are on site, and all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about flanks anymore, because on Oregon, there's only 2 very practical ways to flank the attackers. That's main stairs, and that is back tower stairs. You could run out from blue and go all the way to like garage or big tower, but that's not really in the discussion that we have right now. And after all the information is gathered, everyone's at the bottom floor. Let's just go in there, guns blazing, and that's what they did. They got all the frags. They didn't even need to get the bomb down. They're gonna try a similar defense with Fish back in the big tower, but I don't know if this is the best idea. BB Rely is going to be there with mute jammers, but the info game isn't the only thing that you have to deny from these attackers. You can see they're already droning out the entire west side of the building, and they're going to know it's all clear eventually, and likely going to go for a similar type of take at the back tower, considering it works so well. And Yaga here with the Blackbeard already creeping on in with Bolo at his heels. 30 seconds, not a pick just yet, so a bit better at the moment for the side of Regime, but Yaga's going to be looking to make first contact as he goes for a gunfight, loses his shield and his life so far, but Bolo is there to save him. Tyler does go down, but Yaga going to be put at about half HP very, very soon. And that's a minute, and yet again, an opening frag. It's kind of, I mean, that's kind of a indirectly from Yaga in his case.
So, once again, attempting to clear up the meeting push, and Yaga, a lot of shots there on the Blackbeard. Gunfight, unfortunately, but it's a bit of a yikes there on the gunfight there, and at least he was able to breach open, and Bolo was able to come in for the rescue job, and his Jackal pings of pressure were able to force another defender downstairs, and that was, again, Fish dying out as that Echo. We're once again in a 3v5 here, and all the toxic babes from Sharsh are being dumped at the base of the main stairs again with 90 seconds to work with for the attackers. Quick peeks coming from Sharsh. Sharsh will take a little bit of damage and not really deal out a whole lot either. The Jackal pings holding him in place inside of the closet. No possible rotation. The last toxic babe will get launched out now. Doing a little bit of damage towards Yaga at the base of the main stairs as the plant is being completed, and Exo pushing through will grab Wrath in the process. Yaga going to initiate a team kill, into which Laundry rotates, just looking for any kind of movement. Unfortunately, decapitates his own teammate. The plant gets completed, Bolo cleans up yet another one, leaving Sharsh alone in the closet. He'll get decapitated by Dotdash, holding from the hatch above as the Capitao. Talon dropping a K in chat, just for good measure, but it's the APD storming back with 2 very decisive rounds after dropping the first one.
Yaga looking to prove that his aim is definitely on point, not only securing a frag right after he got picked up, but securing one onto his teammate as well. And that was a good shot by him, admittedly. Taking down 3 in that round in total, if I'm correct. And he's sitting at 2-1, but we can call that another one. Talon not yet to find his footing, but admittedly they're up 2-1. He hasn't needed to do very much other than probably shot call for them at the moment. But either way, now another Kid Storm's defense, the only one so far that has worked for the side of Regime, and hopefully they're going to have to pick something up real soon, because APD is looking definitely a lot stronger than they did on that first round, likely needing a bit of time to warm up. But Yaga on the Blackbeard seems to be working at least a little bit, if not getting the primary frag, having Bolo right by his side to refrag. That definitely helped out a lot. And Fish, like you said, going down early with the Echo, that doesn't really help the cause very much, leaving the smoke the only sort of plant denial that they had left in the front of Armory, or excuse me, in the front of Laundry. Of course, Sharsh not having the mirror window there doesn't really have that much info to play off of other than the Echo drones, which likely were smoked off, as we saw the entire front side of Laundry, basically Canada on, you know that day we're all talking about. But otherwise, yeah, they had to do something different on that second floor defense, or that basement defense, and they didn't really manage to pull that through, and getting picked off early yet again, not securing the kill onto Yaga when he was down. Admittedly, not entirely Tyler's fault, because there was a player behind him also challenging with a gunfight. However, Yaga going back to get another frag and putting them on a 5v3 instead of a 4v4, that didn't really help them very much. And now, under the top floor defense, going for a similar take as the first time? No. Most of them are actually pushing from the southeast side of the building now, opening up the main door right at the bat to cut off rotations. Talon joining up the main stairs. Not going to go for a west side take this time. Probably would be a better idea. Stunna Boy sitting here in Z hallway, likely looking to cut off any sort of aggression from said west side.
Well, the dynamic play so far of the APD has impressed me, and this is something that we actually didn't see a whole lot of out of the APD last season when they were DG. EXO busting open the bottom of white window. He's not going to know that Stunna is right underneath the window. His head pops by for just a moment, and EXO will know that he had a free kill in his hands that he allowed to escape. Unfortunate circumstance there for him, but a good evacuation there for Stunna to be able to back off and keep his life intact. Sharsh taking a lot of damage in the process as that anchorage on site again continues to be picked away moment by moment by the APD. Just a lot of bottom pressure. Stunna wasn't able to hold downstairs for even remotely as long as I imagine he would have hoped to, and Bolo taking a little bit of damage in reciprocation, but looking up through the floorboards, trying to ascertain an angle into these defenders holding. Spots the head for a moment, but now dropped to about 5 HP. He's going to evacuate. Most likely for a reset is Fish. Grabs the first kill onto EXO. It's the Thatcher gone, not the end of the world, as they still have a buck to be able to breach out below and open up generator wall to dispatch of those bandit batteries, and Yaga will trade off Tyler in the process. So there goes the bandit again, some of that fragging force dispatch. So APD once again swapping up their take and having a little bit of success, but once again it's that deployable shield of Fish will be the bane of Dotdash's existence, stalling out his progress. It'll be the APD in a 3v4 to progress further.
Fish making up his sins for the previous rounds, getting both the frags so far for the side of Regime, and now all that's left is Yaga, Bolo on about half HP, and Talon so far yet to find anything in this match. Yaga does manage to get an injure onto the smoke, and Stunna, however, secures an entire kill onto Bolo, so for all Yaga knows, he's just laying under the window, and he can't seem to find the frag just yet, but finally he gets 1 and 3 quick ones from the side of APD. Talon with 2. He finds his footing so far, and all that's left is now Fish, but he's gonna almost get a frag, get the down. He knows it too, and he sees the shield of the Blackbeard at big window, secures the frag on Talon just in case that he might be giving any sort of info from the down position. But 30 seconds left, and the plant has to go down, or he has to find the kill. Fish has an Echo drone, so he has the information to play with on his side. Yaga at about half HP, but with the Blackbeard shield, he doesn't know where Fish has gone to. The stun's going to come out, and Fish is going to make some noise, but Yaga likely not going to be aware so far. 9 seconds, 7, 6, and as the great Kickstar once said, the clock ticking down 1 second at a time. No more time to plant, and Fish has somehow clutched the round for his team. And Regime yet again win another very unlikely at the end there. Top floor defense in a 2 versus 1. Fish manages to clutch it out, and we are tied up 2-2, APD and Regime.
It's a wonderful display of how to properly utilize the Echo drones there from Fish on the 1v2. That was nice, honestly. That was really nice. I was surprised in that position that Bolo was trying to plant inside a generator without really the control, although I imagine there was a call coming out that Fish was inside of kids instead of top white, playing right behind the bomb by the dresser. Unfortunate as well on the reposition there from Yaga when he went up to repel to secure the kill onto Sharsh, who inexplicably peeks the big window against a Blackbeard as a smoke who had already taken a significant amount of damage. Does not escape, unsurprisingly, and a volley of kills come back in the favor of APD in a round that looked like it was going to be easily surrendered. They put themselves back in the favor of taking the round and extending their advantage to 3-1. And yet it's the resiliency of Fish on that Echo, and he's actually going to swap up roles, which after hitting a clutch like that, I mean, I called out his inexperience on Echo earlier on, dying constantly as either the first or second man off the board for Regime. Not really your greatest spot to be in as an Echo player, but that right there was a wonderful demonstration of the anchor play from Echo. He's still going to take the swap off onto Ella, and honestly, that was a back and forth round. You couldn't really pin down which way it was going to go. I mean, at one moment it looks like it's going all APD, and the next moment it all falls apart for them. So wonderful resiliency from there from Regime, and especially Fish. And now, just to note one more time, this is not the last round of the first half, as all of the APD immense rush down through blue. Fish is going to grab 2, as Bolo and Fish will trade, and Fish was also able to claim the life of EXO. But just to get my point across, it's a 4-4 score, or a 2-2 scoreline right now in the 4th round, now heading into 5. It's a 6 round per side, mirroring the new ESL format, and a 3-round overtime should we hit 6-6.
Right now, Fish definitely waking up from doing absolutely kind of nothing in the first couple defenses of the basement to getting 2 quick frags onto what's likely one of the top fraggers, and then maybe an IGL on the side of APD. Who knows if that's good or bad, as the IGL does have the opportunity to kind of look at everyone's screen at this point. However, 2 players, Zofia and the Jackal, utility as well. Not only the individual skill, but now off the board for the side of APD. Not going to help them out too much. Yaga, however, is looking to remedy that situation with a headshot on Stunna. And that's 1 minute off the board for the entire round. However, 3v3 already. Very quick frags coming out from both sides.
Yeah, so Yaga's still holding down. Bolo's actually in a DC. Thank the Lord, he was already expired earlier on in the round by that interesting defensive stand inside of blue by Fish, who was able to claim the life of Bolo and EXO. So down to a 3v3 will remain with Yaga, Dot Dash, and Talon looking like they want to execute a back push into the box. Nitrocell preemptive and not going to land. An asphyxiating bolt cuts down Wrath down to about 20 HP. They do have a dock in the form of Sharsh to heal him back up if he can get within range of the stim pistol. As I get a Windows update telling me I need to update something. Still lots of fire being lanced in. Wrath is going to run down the hallway, and Tyler as well with the shotgun pressing up in the hallway. It's all Yaga alone now, able to cut down the life, and a TK now from Sharsh. Wrath on the floor, and it's all up to Yaga now. It was a huge advantage in the favor of Regime. The shield gets cut down by the flurry of bullets spraying in through the filing cabinets, and Yaga will tack another one on. The plasterine shield in front of his face, and it'll win it out. The TK from Sharsh, the #1 casualty on the round, and Yaga is able to clutch out the 1v3 in immense circumstances once again. Rounds just being coughed up by both sides.
That is a blunder by Sharsh, if I can ever say that. That was a heck of a round, and that was honestly completely Regime's round to lose, and lose it they did. Sharsh with that misfire onto his teammate. I mean, having a 2v1 on a Blackbeard is such a big deal, and accidentally taking out that one teammate that you have to support you, you're going to be left with the task of taking out that face shield that Yaga still has, and also the second one, apparently, as he put another one on, he had time to do so while Sharsh was either reloading or repositioning. That was a mistake. And admittedly, Regime should not have at all lost that round, having those 2 picks very well by the Legion at the end of the round there. That was all but secure, but so much time to play with all those early frags coming out within 1 minute. And that allowed Yaga to just do exactly whatever he wanted. He had no rush. He didn't need to plant the bomb or anything. He just kind of just waltzed on in there and took the gunfight as he was. As a Blackbeard, there's nothing that you have to be scared of. You can peek into whenever you want. And unless you really get, I don't know, since this is online Siege, of course, there is ping as a factor, but unless you really get peaked by some kind of manic free speed, there's nothing that he really has to be afraid of. And he just did exactly what he had to do. Yaga showing up in these previous rounds. He's been doing so much for his team lately. And right now he's not looking to switch off just yet. Not done. Still on the Blackbeard. with the lineup being fairly similar. Bolo has come back. He's now on the Jackal, as you mentioned before. No longer on the Ash. This is what you've been seeing, isn't it? Like from previous seasons.
Yeah, I mean, actually in previous seasons, Bolo's even peeled back even further. Exo and Sharsh trading bullets back and forth. Yaga also going to take one to the torso, it seems, is swapped over weapons as well. Looks like he might have been rocking the SR-25. But an aggressive play from Sharsh here, and his aggression thus far has not paid off. And the head going to be spotted inside of Armory. Exo just missing the shots with the G8, the IQ LMG, and he'll continue the storm, but being gunned down from the double meeting doors of Stunna. The 416 will shred Exo, and that's the IQ surrendered very early. A good bait there from Sharsh, I suppose. Now Stunna's going to attempt to evacuate, but he's got one coming in on the T2 stairs. They trigger an LMine, and Stunna's going to win that out thanks to the LMine effect. More shots being traded and lanced out through the soft wall of the stage wall. Stunna again going to try and re-engage on the peak. Will finally be downed and finished off now by the pair of Dot Dash. He needs to grab 2 for his trouble as he levels man count on a flurry. Sharsh also surrendering his life as those aggressive plays still not working out for him as we only eclipse the first minute in the 6th round here, our last round of the first half. We level up at a 3-3 scoreline as far as man count goes, and the continuation of a push for the backside from the APD. They have no intentions really of pushing the front side at all.
This seems mildly familiar from multiple different standpoints at 3 versus 3 with a minute only elapsed in the round. And not only that, but these playstyles so far from these players and these teams remind me a bit of maybe Latam that we've seen so many seasons ago. This was a long while ago, before a lot of these operators in the game have even come out. But back when we first saw Latam kind of play in NA, because they weren't really streamed that much in NA, but when they started getting the exposure over here, those games went by so fast. Those rounds just kind of flew by, and these teams, these underage teams that we have in CL, or excuse me, not CL, CCS, they resemble those in multiple different fashions. EXO maybe getting a bit too greedy there at the round start, getting picked off by the player inside a meeting room. That is definitely something that has to be looked out for, like those early aggressive plays by a bunch of early LATAM teams. Of course, we don't see that very often anymore because it just doesn't work like that. If you get baited like he did, and speaking of bait, a lot of it coming out right now. Tyler with one shotgun frag, but refragged onto by Yaga. Rats is just gonna walk up in the hallway and all of a sudden put it onto a 1v1 against, yet again, Yaga being the last alive on the Blackbeard, but this time Wrath is going to win it out for his team, peeking on and taking those body shots for himself. Yaga being on half HP did not help him out there, and Wrath does secure another round for Regime. 3-3. They have tied it up, and no one's going to be taking the first half home for themselves.
I really do feel for Yaga there on that one. He shot one Legion mine, triggered a second one, pulled it out, and just narrowly evaded a nitro cell that was launched in the box that would have claimed his life. Makes it into the hallway, hits a third Legion mine, pulls that out, goes deep into red, and hits an Ella mine that was in his purview the whole time. So every possible trap that was laid out for him and wait on the back push, Yaga seemed to trigger, and then he can't win out the engagement against Wrath on the Legion. I mean, that's just an unfortunate sequence of events there for Yaga, and as well for the APD. I mean, once again, we had a 3v3 as far as man count goes with 45 seconds left, and the shotgun play close range from Tyler has been demonstrous, and then Wrath as well. A few clutch situations so far for Regime as a whole, and now they'll head to the attacking side with the APD electing to start with downstairs defense as their primary.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but remember how round one, Yaga was the first off to get picked by the Jaeger of the defense of Regime? Well, if you look at the scoreboard now, he is sitting at the top, 8 frags. He is not happy about that first pick. And playing that Blackbeard has allowed him, not only that, but of course he has a bunch of individual talent as well, but the Blackbeard definitely has helped them out in getting all these 8 kills. Look at him, he's 8-2 right now. That's definitely not something to be scoffed at. And of course, following up is a player on 7 frags for his team, so definitely not him doing all the work, but so far Yaga has shown up, and he's been in basically every 1v1 clutch situation that we've seen here from these two teams. For some reason, it's always him being last alive in the round. He's managed to clutch it out at least once, but not every single time, as we've seen. Getting the kill on the dock, but losing it out twice that I remember. One onto the top floor defense that they had against Regime, and finally onto the Legion of Wrath, managing to get the frag against the Blackbeard, helped out by those so many Legion mines that you mentioned, and as well as the C4. But we're going to see sides flip now, so he's not going to be put on that role any longer, playing the mute at this point on the defensive side of APD. Not going to have that face shield to help him out with these frags, but likely still not going to need it, admittedly, considering his individual skill. And Regime looking for anything right now to get them through these rounds, but at the moment, a bit slow from the defender. Getting aside as all the players are seemingly going to be anchoring in the basement, and for some reason, Sharsh doesn't manage to open up that hatch with that thermite charge. Maybe they nerfed it or something, but that kind of thermite charge placement definitely used to be able to deny the mute jammer that is usually placed onto the laundry wall, or the little island inside of laundry site. Not so, and he's going to waste accidentally a thermite charge in order to expend that wall. 1 minute 43 now on the clock, and no picks as yet again all the defenders, except for one at the moment in Meeting Hall. Stunna Boy is going to have the information on him, but as I was saying, all the defenders except for one sitting down in the basement, patiently anchoring. And likely Exo going to be looking for that run out back in Big Tower, but not going to find anything just yet. And the execute looks to be starting very, very soon, as the flashes and Sophias and all the smokes are going to be going out. Wrath, not with the bomb though. Sharsh is the one that has it. He has to go for a plant soon. Wrath with the grenade, but Exo with two big frags on the flank, and Stunna Boy with a team kill. Exo with another one, and all of a sudden it's Thermite alone manages to shut down Exo, but Talon with a peek from Meeting with a refrag. What a huge round from Exo, getting indirectly, I guess, 4 different frags, denied the ace finally, but even still, basically winning his entire team the round. A blunder at the end there by the Capitao, taking out his teammate, but nevertheless, we're going to see Regime lose out that first round in a flurry of kills by Exo. APD take that, and now they are in the lead so far, 4-3.
It was an interesting demonstration of the patience game on the T stairs. So tower stairs, Stunna against Exo. Exo was looking to come up the back tower stairs from sight as APD started out with 5 on site for the first minute, and Stunna was holding the foot angle outside of the T door for about 1 minute and 10 seconds. And as soon as he walked away, nearly within the millisecond that Stunna stopped holding the angle, Exo was able to maneuver his way up the stairs, push his way into Meeting, and then go for a rotate all the way upstairs through a rotate pre-made by a shotgun through attic, descend down the main lobby stairs from Armory, and absolutely wreak havoc on the attacking force coming in through main lobby. An unfortunate circumstance there for Stunna. Had he held the angle for just a moment longer, possibly could have been the man to save the entire round for Regime there, but Rainbow Six timing does not usually allow for you to be omnipotent and know every movement of your opponents, unfortunately. So top floor we go now for the APD on their defense after being successful, really off the backs of Exo, like you said, and another team kill. And it seems like the APD just seem much more well-rounded when it comes to their composure and their mid-round game. It's strategy-wise, I mean, Oregon is very regimented. There's not a lot of innovation to be done on Oregon. There's not enough new things you can bring out to be a surprising team on Oregon. It plays out very similar to the way that Chalet used to when it was in the comp rotation. You do your one thing, you have 2 different options to do it, figure it out, and it's very simple to maneuver between those two. For the team for APD, I've liked their bouncing back and forth on their dynamic play in between those 2 possible strategies you really have for Oregon. A double repel in here for Regime into Armory. That's an interesting one, as Armory was completely left abandoned by the APD, and again, they're playing a very hard on-site hold. Exo, typically as a nitro cell, could have been roaming downstairs, trying to cause some vertical destruction. The thermite charge will be used to open up Armory, and Stunna will get down in the process as a flurry of flashbangs will blind disorient Exo as the wall is being opened up on his backside. Being planted inside of the closet, and Wrath with a frag grenade, bouncing it off the wall. The ricochet will give him an extra 10 points, and Exo will fall. That's a nitro cell not being utilized, the only one on the side of the APD.
About 100 HP actually taken off of both different sides. But the difference is EXO is the only player to receive that damage on the APD side, with Stunna and Fish being about half HP. But an entire man up so far. That's a gun and a half.
Attackers have located
1 minute 33. They have half the round to play with. So much time, but Dot here playing the top of White Stairs. The Bolo, who quickly gets eliminated by Wrath with a headshot. That's a 3 versus 5 now. Dot, I was about to say, playing that perfect crossfire with his teammate over inside of Kids, no longer has that luxury to work with, and all he has right now are his smoke canisters that he's deploying very quickly. And this is not going to be a perma-smoke. 1 minute left, and he's all got 1 gas canister remaining in his arsenal. 2 teammates, however, Yaga and Talon, are going to be looking to deny this push from 4 different players over on the west side, or excuse me, the east side. Talon does manage to spot one on the highway, but goes from shots and drops back, just revealing his location, making them a bit scared. But Yaga going for some shots onto Generator, not going to be phased by either team so far, but the time is running low, 40 seconds, but 2 quick frags from both sides. Dot with one on the Shark, but Fish refragging quickly onto Talon. And it's still a man advantage for the attackers. 30 seconds, however, and it's not looking very good, as Dot does get 1 kill and another one, a quick turn, and he ventilates Tyler so far, and 20 seconds left. The bomb is down inside of Generator, and now Dot's trying to play the safe game. He's not going to peek this defuser at all. He's going to wait for this plant. Fish is going to run all the way into Kids' dorms, but is he going to have the information? The Valcam's out, the spots as well, but Dot no longer having the info. He has to go for some kind of play. Fish is not going to fake this, and he knows that he has no time left. He's going to go for a wall bang, but Fish is not ready. Dot clutches that round out. 1 versus 3, a great play by the smoke. The deny, not the plant, however, the round, and that puts them 5-3. Not quite match point, but very, very close. 1 more round for them to get there, and a big play by Dot to win them that one.
Wonderful clutch there, a 1v3. So once again, rounds that seem simple from afar, not so much for Regime to close out this evening. Just having a little bit of trouble converting on that site push, that execute. Like I said, that experience from the APD being a unit, obviously only having 1 roster change in between seasons, which is Talon, versus this entirely new roster of Regime coming together. They're still very new, and obviously, like I said, very good competitive players that we've seen on a myriad of different teams. This is their first time being together as a full squad. So obviously there's going to be some growing pains between them all as they try to develop that chemistry that APD clearly have fleshed out quite well. And we now extend to a 5-3 advantage for the APD. This is actually the widest margin of round count that we've had all evening. 5-3. It's hard to believe we've been that back and forth, but a wonderful job to them. The only caveat to that is now they'll have to head to a tertiary bomb site, whether it be kitchen, dining, or tower. They elect to go to kitchen and dining, and EXO bringing out a Clash, another operator we don't see a whole hell of a lot of these days. After that nerf where the quick swap was disabled, and a little bit of a damage decrease, and I think a little bit of range decrease on her zappy, slowy, effecty thing, whatever the hell you want to call Clash's utility. A very anchor-heavy lineup, though, coming out from the APD for this kitchen defense fold. You've got 3 ACOGs, a Clash, so a shield on defense, and then your ever-present smoke for that plant delay. Also swapping around some roles as well. Bolo heading to the dock after he's playing the Echo. We saw him peek out from behind that deployable shield from the Kids' doorway and get blasted off of planet Earth. So maybe you still get the ACOG here as the dock, and hear a lot of MP5 shots rattling in towards the junkyard spawn, but not connecting. Maybe for Bolo here, you still get the benefit of the ACOG and absorbing a lot of damage. You're not sacrificing as much if you lose your peak battle.
Definitely. Probably APD letting him just play his own game right now, with EXO being the information gatherer for the team right now. Knows that there's at least 1 on the west side of Small Tower is going to get burned out, but no, that asphyxiation boat's actually not going to hit him at all. He's staying at 100 HP, and he's just taunting them right now. All the attackers at the moment on the west side of the building. No one looking to go for any type of play over on the other side, maybe from main door, but they're just going to sit here at the moment looking for some more info with the drones, and Wrath's going to know that EXO's here, but we're going to have a player repelling already on that little Small Tower. Clash is finally going to take some hits. going to be breathing too well inside the showers just now, but still up and running. It's a minute 10 off the clock. And some more shots ringing in. Exo finally falls to Wrath somehow. That's a great play by the Buck, already finding himself into showers. And I don't think Exo had that information that he was in there. Dot's going to be put at lower than 50 HP at the moment. Bolo getting lit up to about 1 single point of health, but he's going to have those stims to dock himself back up. Still going to be challenged, however. Health advantage and man advantage for the attackers at the moment. Pressure going on the Dot at the moment as Sharsh does manage to get a picture. That's a wall bang. Great play by Sharsh. And 5 versus 3 now. Doxton going out, but not looking very good for the defenders as this site is already not very favored to be won by said defenders. And Yaga with another death inside of APD. Stunner Boy, great headshot there. And Bolo and Talon, both the ACOGs left to do it all. And no, Talon's going to be the last one left standing. Stunner with another one in a minute. However, Talon does get a single frag on a fish, goes from wall bangs onto a second player, but already out into the hallway that he's rotated. Not going to find anything there just yet. And Talon does get another frag. What is that? He's managed to put it into a 1v3. Still not very winnable at the moment, but he's definitely shown his prowess so far and not looking to give up just yet. He's got everything to fight for in this round. Looking to put his team on a match point, but no Wrath with a headshot onto him. Another one on the round, opening it up and closing it out. 5-4 for Regime. Looking to tie it up so far. And remember, this is not match point just yet for APD. Regime could just straight up take this map right off the bat, since match point is 6. It's 6 rounds, it's not 5. We are playing the best of 7 in standard time. So if Regime managed to win 3 out of the back pockets, they can just take this map away from APD so far.
Yeah, that round there for the boys here was a little interesting. So Exo on the Clash managed to evade the first asphyxiating bolt without a scratch on him, but dropped to about 40 HP after the second one hit him inside of showers. He backed out, and it looked like as Yaga, I think it was. It could have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was either Yaga or Dot Dash who snuck up right beside Exo. It spooked Exo, and he turned his shield away at the most inopportune time, because it's exactly when Wrath pushed into showers and took up the angle with the Buck right behind the laundry bins and was able to shred the remaining health out of the backside of Exo. So unfortunate timing there. You know, I talk about chemistry and I talk about the synergy that APD have demonstrated having a clear superiority in over Regime. That's an instance where you kind of got to know where your teammates are and not really get spooked by one of your teammates making a movement. Also, it seemed very, very ranked-esque to worry about an attacker being inside the objective within 30 seconds. That was another thing that really caught me off guard. Like, no matter like what you're hearing, you should know that your teammates have you covered and be able to have that faith that, yeah, there isn't just a dude on the enemy team just chilling in the objective. He didn't just rush straight in. Another compounding factor to the loss there on the round was the Maverick coming in through the meeting wall and pantry, just poking open some kill holes in the backside there, and that's another devastating portion of that map to lock down if you're an attacking team. Honestly, there's so much control that is held from inside of that backside of kitchen behind the island, and there were no reinforcements up on the kitchen walls and towards dining either. Just an odd setup that seemed very focused for the APD in terms of taking a peek and taking an aggressive stance that just did not work out for them.
And now all the pressure is on APD at the moment to win a single round to put them on match point, so they don't have the pressure of maybe dropping the first map, not even in overtime, to Regime, a map they've looked so good on so far. Exo going for an aggressive play as an alibi into Garage, perhaps might catch off. Single player pushing in a meeting, but Talon's going to be first contact if that is so. He's playing, yet again, pretty aggressive on the main stairs, and a pinch on a fish very soon if he decides to push all the way down. But taking up the Legion Mine, he spots it. Good eyes from him. Not going to aggress any further, though. Very wise from Fish not to give his own life away, perhaps, to a defender that he might not know the position of inside of the main lobby. Hatch is getting open. Pretty standard take so far, but Exo with that aggression that we mentioned had shot into Tyler, but refagged fairly quickly by Stunner Boy. Still an even man count, but Hatch is already opened, and that's an alibi up the board. Hibana having done her job, though. So both these operators, kind of their utility has already been expended, so not very big deal to lose both of them. only kind of the individual skill of both players to be lost there. But Bolo has a frag on the Wrath, and that's the second one for the side of APD. 2 minutes down. A short amount of time for them to make this push so far. 3 men left standing, and they have to find some pick if they wish to get into this B bomb site unscathed. Shots going through the back racks from Stunner Boy, not going to connect with anyone. And so far, all 4 members so far on APD still full health. Talon, the headshot of Fish, takes out the Ash, and that's the main fragger to the side of Regime off the board. Charge going for some utility use, and Stunner Boy does manage to get a headshot in a Bolo, so that puts them not into an even man count, but getting closer to that fact. 40 seconds, and both attackers' positions likely known as Charge dropping from that meeting hatch was hit by a Legion mine. Now, yet again, shooting an alibi, not going to help this vision very much. Talon, though, does get lit up, and Yaga with 1 frag. This is a round to lose for Regime. Likely going to be a match point very shortly for APD, but Charge still fighting back. 20 seconds. This is very doable for him. He has 19 bullets left in his M249. Not enough time to reload. Needs to find something if he wishes to take this round. 16 and lower, but Yaga with 2 frags at the end there, securing that round, and that is match point on Oregon for APD. Going to shut this out within 1 more. Fish already I think he thinks this is the old Pro League rules, but not just yet. They still have something to fight for. Regime could take this to match point if they have enough willpower left in them, but so far, Yaga at 11, Dot following them up, and all the support from their teammates being so good. APD look primed to take this map 1.
I really got to ask what the hell Fish was doing on that round. I mean, first of all, the entire setup there for Regime was a little questionable as well. They seemed indecisive as to which direction they wanted to push from. They were bouncing back and forth between main lobby and meeting, just, I guess, either trying to assess the best approach or just completely unsure of what they had game planned for the initial attack. And Fish, as an Ash, just drops the hallway hatch and completely sends it into the barrel of Talon's T5 and just sacrifices his life while shift Wing into the depths of laundry. And it seemed like a useless sacrifice. Yeah, he had used a little bit of his utility. Like, he had cleared some barbed wire and launched a couple flashbangs, but I mean, the point of Ash is to kill. And there wasn't a lot of killing being done while sprinting headstrong into the barrel of a gun right in front of your face. So I don't really know what Fish's game plan was there, especially to try and make a beeline in towards laundry without any kind of support. If they had sent someone to go for a rotate down the main lobby stairs, as everyone from the APD was focused towards the backside, and Fish had tried to accomplish that, then I could understand the pinch. But Fish just YOLO sent it down the hallway, and it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. That was a questionable call, and it clearly did not work out in his favor. And now, yeah, they're backs against the wall. Match point advantage now for APD as they look to close things out on Oregon. And of course, with the rotations, they won downstairs, and now they can head back upstairs to try and lock things out.
I love the way you put that. It was just the YOLO send. That is, I mean, there is admittedly a type of calculated YOLO, which might sound a bit weird, but when you YOLO in a way that, when you YOLO together as a team, right, that kind of thing works. But Fish there, YOLOing alone, just kind of, as you said, full sending it through that laundry hallway. That didn't make much sense. He just got picked up. He was caught with his gun likely down, just sprinting into the barrel of that Legion. Not going to work out, but EXO now already been taken out. Fish trying to make up for rounds past. Does get the primary frag onto a very talented player on the side of APD, and that is less than a minute in the round. Pulse already off the board. It's a lot of information, as well as, again, EXO, one of the players that's been stepping up so far. All of them have been doing their fair share in this game. None of them really asleep at the wheel, but one of them already been taken out of the round by Fish so far, and Fish is just going to get out of there. He's not going to take any risks, not going to have himself get picked off like last time, and it's an early frag. Very beneficial for the attackers right now, as all these different angles being held from kids, from White, from the big window. Really beneficial in keeping this defense intact. And Charge checking as Fuse on that shield, denying the angle from pulse at the beginning. Wrath with the frag on the dot. Keeping the attack alive, and they still want to win this round. However, the bomb does go down. It's looking very good so far. The attacker regime. Talon with one single frag and a stun of boy. Looking to pull it back real quick, but they have a lot of work to do. The fuse does go out. Bolo has to evacuate in order to not get blown to smithereens. And Fish with another 1 second for him in the round. Talon, the one player to get a frag for APD, does fall in. Wrath with another on the Yaga. Bolo has a response though, but that's just about it. Sharsh with a third. Oh no, excuse me, that was his first. Fish with the second, and Sharsh with his first of the round. Finally getting a kill with the fuse. Okay, that's an interesting one. Just tapping Bolo one time in the chest will secure the round and not get done for this map. One more round for Regime to take it on to overtime, and that was a fairly convincing attack to do so.
The fuse play looked a little questionable, but we've seen fuse shield in the past from sipping on OJ of the Sinister Academy. I do enjoy his play on the fuse shield. I don't think anyone really quite does it like him. Sharsh putting a little bit of spin on it himself by actually using the utility. OJ doesn't. He just uses it for the shield and the PMM. That was an interesting call, and it was a pretty well-placed cluster charge. I mean, if you're ever going to use fuse in a comp setting, that kind of makes the most sense unless you're strictly just attempting to clear out utility. But hey, if you can use it as, you know, a dissuasion from someone being able to hop on the diffuser and try and stick a defuse while everyone evacuates to their safety positions on the attacking side after you get that plant down, then hey, I mean, it worked out. It pushed Bolo back deeper. I don't think he would have been able to stick the full 7-second defuse. Even if that cluster charge hadn't gone off. You saw Wrath pushing down Armory Hallway right through the master doorway to Generator and taking down Yaga. So I don't think a defuse possibility was there for Bolo, but just an interesting use of utility. And Regime live to fight another day, at least on Oregon. Still down 6-5. Another attempt at the top floor bomb site defense here for the APD. Potential to lock it out. But I have a feeling Regime are going to push back. No fuse shield this time. Instead, they're going to elect to go for the double breach. Sharsh and Tyler going to be stacking up on the Hibana and the Thermite.
Going for a different type of push, not allowing APD to adapt to what they've just done too well. Of course, they're going to have an idea on what the attack would kind of be like, but at the moment, the different operators being brought out from Regime looking to do something a bit different. Fish not going for an early pick just yet. That was great individual play by him last round, but I'd be surprised if APD would let him do something like that 2 rounds in a row. At the moment, slow attack so far, just information gathering at the moment for this 1 minute mark. Wrath, however, has already made it up the bottom of White Stairs, holding the angle. And there's a player up there waiting for him. He's ready. But I don't know if Wrath knows this. He doesn't seem to, but he's going for a grenade onto that White Stairs position. Hits it perfectly, but no one's up to there to receive it. And he's going to find that out very shortly as he manages to buck the rest of the floor open. And now that White Stairs angle is now denied. However, shots do go out from Dot, but Sharsh is the one to get 2 different frags on the Exo and Bolo, both the very strong fraggers for the team. Not only in players, but also operators, the Vigil and Jaeger off the board. Jaeger having used his utility, however, Exo losing his life so early. Vigil doesn't really do anything other than get kills, and that is exactly what he hasn't done in this round. 1 minute 30 left, and attackers are already in a 5v3. Looking good. Talon with a single refrag and a second with a shotgun yet again. Evening at the man count, but there's a minute left in the round for the attackers to play with.
Wrath pushing in through the dining doorway, looking to clear out where he assumes Talon's playing. I guess the call came out that he was downstairs, but I'm about 50% sure he was upstairs inside of kids and never left his spot. Just opening up, making sure no one's hit a rotate down through the pantry hatch as well. There's a rotate into meeting, and Talon, actually, he could have been downstairs as he's playing with the mute, the discount smoke loadout. He's already used his nitro cell, and it did not connect, but Doing enough work with the SMG-11 and the shotgun in the process. 40 seconds now tick away, and the health advantage clearly in the favor of the APD to lock this out. As time ticks away against the attackers, they still can't really facilitate which angle they want to press up. You've got Wrath coming up the white stairs right now on about 30 HP, and a Toxic Babel cut off his visibility and his entry into the top of white stairs. As more time ticks away, you still have Talon inside of the attic doorway, and he's going to down off Sharsh with the shotgun and evacuate to safety. Another Toxic Babel at the top of white stairs will press Wrath even further back as he tries to press right through. He'll get the kill on the dot dash. Doggo will trade it right back out immediately and heal him back self up. Down to a 2v2. Sharsh has been revived and now pressed down even further. Yaga's going to claim the head of Tyler. Now Sharsh rushing through, pistol in hand. It won't be enough as Yaga will clean it up. And DG has survived the onslaught and battle back from the 3v5 to take map number 1 on Oregon against Regime.
That was a beautiful round from the defense. After losing off 2 men right off the bat, they managed to pull it back. Talon's great individual play there, not only getting 1, but also putting one of the operators in that final push at very low HP by that down at the end of there. He did a lot in that round, and it shows he's at the top of the scoreboard right now. Not having the most impact in frags, however, 5 assists and a couple shown in that last round. That is a big play by Talon, going from 7 to 9 in that final. I'm saying around a lot, right? But yeah, going to from 7 to 9 that final round, he did a lot for his team in order to secure that map. And that's just very good play by the entire side of APD in that case. Ish, Sharsh, Tyler, and Wrath and Stunna, their lineup looking good to take that last round. However, just losing out on the flank watch, likely that's kind of similar to round 1 where they attacked as well. Not having that flank watch with EXO coming down main stairs to get not only 2 in that case, but 3, 4 different frags, that is huge. And that is something that Regime seemed to need to work on in their kind of team coercion, as you've mentioned, and I've mentioned, as we've probably seen in this gameplay. APD's kind of, the fact that they've been a roster for so long, it's so big for them because they have this synergy that can't be matched by anything other than just playing for a long time together. They just know, they have this kind of mental image and where their teammates are, and they trust each other to know how kind of everyone's supposed to be positioned at any given time. It's all in their heads, right? And Regime not having that clearly has shown multiple different times, not only in the flank watch, but accidentally team killing teammates twice in this very game. That is a big weakness for them, and that's something they're going to have to work out if they want to take a map off of APD.
Yeah, the entirety of Oregon there. Interesting map, very back and forth, and we saw multiple instances of rounds being, I don't want to say thrown, but clutch situations working out because of separation from either side. Whoever was in that clear advantage, the separation, the spacing between the players, in a lot of those instances was pretty off. So back and forth trades of some interesting clutches and some interesting rounds overall, but it is the APD that take the first map on Oregon 7-5. So with that, we're going to head to a short break, a little 3-minute timer up on the board for you. And when we come back, we will have border ready for you between the APD and Regime, and it'll be to decide whether or not we have our first 2-0, as both the games on Wednesday were 1-1 draws as far as the full best of 2 goes. So maybe we'll actually get our first win here. But thank you very much for watching First Map, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. There we go. Wasn't unmuted. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CCS North America Season 4 for our first matchup in Playday number 2 of week number 1 between Regime and the APD. Map number 1 goes in the favor of the APD, 7-5 on Oregon. Now we head into Border for our second map. Just a refresh for anyone who didn't watch on Wednesday, who didn't catch the blog post and everything about the new format of the season. We are in best of 2s, and with that being said, we're going to jump straight into Border, our second map. It is a best of 2 with the new ESL rule set, so 1st to 7 is your win condition with a 3-round overtime. And now we head into Border. My name is Flynn. I'm joined by Golden Falcon, who just completed his first ever map in CCS. How you doing, man? How'd you feel about the first game? How you feeling about map number 2?
Adrenaline is high. I'll say that. And not only for me, for these players likely as well. We saw multiple different players from APD take over 10 frags in that first game. That was very big for them. And of course, we say a lot in Siege and all kinds of games that frags aren't everything. But when you have different players, not only just one, but multiple people stepping up in that category, that is enormous for that kind of situation, because that shows that they're not only supporting their team in terms of info, in terms of droning, stuff like that, cams, whatever utility, they're also managing to get body count up on their opponents on top of that. And we saw multiple different clutches, 1vx situations from the members of APD to take that first map. And while it's not really surprising, as it was Oregon, it was APD's pick, that they managed to win it, Regime are going to have to win a lot more of those gunfights and those kind of situations where you would expect the round to be over. But APD somehow manages to pull back from that heavy deficit in terms of man count and turn it back into a 1v1 and somehow steal a round away from Regime. And now that we go to Border, hopefully Regime is going to have a different kind of solution to remedy all those issues.
Well, on to Border. Identical attacking bans, Montaigne and Glass, to start things out as far as the bans go. A lot of Echo being played, and Echo a very popular defensive ban, and yet it's still going to be a Maestro, which means I imagine we're going to head into a Mira ban coming out from the APD, as no one typically likes to play Border with Mira anymore. So I guess Echo is still going to be in play, barring some kind of shocking result here. Nope, it's going to be a mirror ban by the APD. So Echo is still in play. Very popular pick from both teams. Identical bans between both maps, and I guess that makes a decent amount of sense as Oregon and Border, they're not identical maps, but they do play quite similarly in that they are fairly regimented. I think Oregon is much, much stricter as far as your options for attacking in defensive situations versus Border, which affords you a little more flexibility. And Tyler, starting things off on a blitz, at least in reveal phase. We'll see if he 6 picks off that, if it's just a spook tactic, or if he's really going to try and stick the blitz, an operator we didn't see at all in map number 1, even though we did see a fuse shield. I thought we'd see a blitz long before we saw a fuse shield, but welcome to CCS.
I mean, the fuse shield did work. It managed to get that final frag and also kind of drive Bolo away from the diffuser as well. So that's not entirely a bad pick from the side of Regime. But now Blitz, seemingly, he's going to stick this. He's not switching off of it. And this five-man lineup from Regime is just going straight in. Blitz in with it. And that's the first time we've seen Blitz, I think, this entire play so far. And Tyler going to be playing that, not Sharsh, as we saw last time on the Fuse Shield. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be looking for with that shield in order to tear apart his defense. Top floor, pretty standard. Blitz pick, however, not so much on this map, as you said, it's pretty regimented. Not as much as Oregon, but you'd expect this kind of shield pick to be picked on Oregon instead of this map, as Oregon is filled with a lot of very tight corridors that Blitz is very well adapted to playing in. And this map being a tiny bit different, of course, there's still that long L hallway, this long and short right there. And he could just use him for a bit of information, maybe playing on the west balcony, going for a couple peeks, as his face can't really be shot off in that instance. But definitely not a very conventional pick in this case. And remember, there is a 1 shield per team rule at the moment. So Blitz is taking up that shield spot right now. No black here in the side of Regime would be even allowed in this game at the moment, or this round.
They're taking a little bit of damage, just try to get a little aggressive outside of the fountain double door, even though it's not an actual door you can barricade. Taking a little bit of damage from Fish as he shot in through those waiting room balcony windows, and Raft making his immediate entry into top east is haven't really deciphered really where Regime want to go for that initial entry. Is heavy stack out towards CCTV to start, but now it sounds like Tyler is filed in right behind Wrath. As Wrath is just going to start pressing up immediately, and you've got Exo. He's going to get pinged out inside of Archives, but Exo wins it out with the MPX. Oh, Wrath, the debris from the wooden barricade getting in his way, blocking his purview, and Exo wins out with a wonderful reactionary shot to start things off on border. Start with a bang, and Talon's going to tack on now for a second one as Tyler goes down. That's the Blitz and Buck, the double push towards the opposite side of the map. Dispatched of Bolo, takes down Fish. It's quickly down to a 5v2. Stunna and Sharsh, the last two remaining alive, and an aggressive run out there from Exo. Not going to bear any fruit as he will fall, the first one for the APD to do so. Stunna and Sharsh still stacked up by the radio desk and outside of radio desk window. Sharsh holding for any flanks down the main hallway. And there goes Bolo again on a reign of terror. Second victim of the round claimed. Now he's going to immediately rush up to the hallway, but Talon will secure the kill before Bolo can turn the corner. Sharsh will fall, and it's the APD responding to the aggression with a little bit of their own. They'll take round number 1 on border.
Responding in kind indeed, and it was a very convincing round from the police department there, locking down all those different criminals and not giving any one of them, except for Stunna, maybe one single chance to pull that round back. But a great double peek at the end there. Bolo and Talon at the same time, one from the hallway, one from Fountain to secure that final kill. There's no chance for that last attacking player, and that is one very convincing round. It looked not so at the start. It was a Wrath that was likely, as we thought, and as probably he thought as well, going to get that first frag. But Exo, quick reactions and great mechanical skill on his part, managing to turn over 90 degrees to get that frag onto the Buck with a quick headshot. Unfortunately, Wrath being a bit too eager on the trigger there, shooting around the ping instead of on it. And that, I don't want to say it cost his team the round, but the first frag going in favor of the defenders, that certainly doesn't bode well for the attacking team on a map like Border. And no one really behind him to refrag, only the Blitz with the face shield, and he didn't get taken out just then, but not able to get that kill. Put the team in a man disadvantage very early on. And aggression from the defenders working out very well as all of their aims are very much shown off in that previous round. Going for downstairs defense now. Still fairly standard, not going for any surprises like they did last round, but last map, excuse me. So fairly default at the moment.
Well, this is the team that is fairly well known for popularizing the bathroom and tellers defense on Border. To the best of my knowledge, they were the first team that I saw with any kind of regularity play it in NA. I know way back in the day, I believe it was year 2, season 3, Vitality pulled it out, and that was back when you didn't need to swap to a third site, and you didn't even play on the same side for 5 consecutive rounds, and they pulled out a bathroom tellers defense that was oddly similar to the one that DG, now the APD, were utilizing last season. But bathroom tellers on Border was a mainstay last season for them. Stunna, though, to start things off with that electronic sensor onto Bolo. So using the cardiac sensor through a wooden barricade. Fish as well, still holding out on top of Avian on the radio tower. We'll drop Exo, and that's 2 nitro cells dispatched of with ease by Regime without causing any harm towards them.
Fish doing some work right off the bat, unlike last game. I mean, he did his fair share on Oregon, but starting off with a frag onto one of the very talented players on the side of APD. Exo going for a run out, not going to bear any fruit as he was being watched by Fish over at that Avian position. He's going to put his team on 3 versus 5, and plenty of time for the attackers to do anything they possibly want right now. And it is not a basement, but a first floor defense on the ventilation room from the side of APD. And Talon is the only one left in this top floor position. And inside of that small box, he's going to be pressured by both sides. 2 players to his south right now, or excuse me, to his west, and 1 player over inside of Archives. He's going to drop back onto this little server rack and get a frag in response. That's Sharsh going down, but quick one from Stunna and another from Fish. Leaves Yaga with a lot to do in this round if he wishes to take another lead, but Yaga has found one on a Stunna. 1 minute, so a lot of time for both these teams to play with, but Yaga at about half HP has so much to find right now, so much to do. And the plant already going down from the buck. He's got to do something miraculous to pull this round back for his team.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Shots traveling back and forth, and no one's going to connect with anything. Yaga is going to have the info on them at the moment. Goes for some shots, and that's a beautiful flick. One headshot, but that's all he's going to find. Fish from the main door is going to have the angle to take him out, and that's a single round for Regime. However, that does put them on an even round count for the map border at the moment, so not very bad for them. A very convincing second round, getting 2 quick frags and following up on it very well, not letting Talon on the Legion do very much after getting that single frag going off of that rotation back downstairs, trading them out very quickly. And that was beautiful. That was absolutely stunning team play, no pun intended, from the side of Regime.
So a little bit of an op swap here as Exo's going to pick up the Ella instead of the Valkyrie, and they're once again going to reattempt the Vent Workshop hold. Evidently the APD with their newfound, I guess, IGL of Talon and their new coach of Sternab. And as I say that, Exo is going to 6-pick off to the Valkyrie and Sharsh to the Thermite. So identical lineup coming out for the APD once again. Similar lineup coming out for Regime. Vent Work, a second attempt at it after a couple of rotations and some unlucky positioning there from Bolo being caught out by Stunna.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
2 attempts at it, not really the end of the world for me. I think if we get into 3 straight, kind of got some issues, but I applauded the APD's dynamic play on Oregon. This feels a little rigid to me, knowing their expertise and knowing their history with this map in particular, with their ability to stretch all 4 bomb sites into their wheelhouse. I would have expected them to see, or expected to see them move out towards a 3rd bomb site without even giving Vent Workshop another look, considering that they never really played Vent Work all that much last season in general, whether they had to or not, whether the rotation parameters had put them most favorably towards Vent Work or not. You know, they take a customs over at Vent Work, so I'm surprised that they're giving it 2 consecutive shots. But like I said, maybe it is the alterations of a mindset for the team with Talon and Sternab both coming in.
And that last round, admittedly, wasn't entirely Regime playing very well. Okay. So did go for a similar type of run out last round and got picked off by the exact same players, so maybe that's a bit of a blunder by him yet again. But there were a couple picks last round that shouldn't exactly have happened. Bolo getting tracked by that IQ sensor. Very good play by Stunna, but he's not going to make that same mistake again. Exo, however, unfortunately going for a bit of a greedy run out for a second time. Not going to bear any fruit yet again. However, at least not losing 2 men right off the bat. Bolo is going to be up here with Talon, able to work together on defending this upstairs armory instead of just falling back right at the start of the round. Ball's going to get opened up though, and now pressure's going to start coming in from both directions.
Crashing down from either sides now as the suffocation begins from either side of Regime, as it's Talon and Bolo trapped upstairs. Lots of shots being lashed into the soft wall from Radio Desk by Stunna, but oh, what a wonderful shot there from Talon as he'll be immediately traded out by Wrath, and they still have Bolo to deal with. Actually, yeah, Bolo's still buried inside of Archives with a Nitro Cell. Will blast Fish into outer space, still holding inside of Archives, prone on the floor, getting pinged out constantly now. Spots the rotation in from Wrath, but can't land the shots with the lower rate of fire. UMP, the C8 wins out, and it's down to Yaga and Dot Dash alone inside the objective. Yaga bouncing back and forth, evading the hailstorm of skeleton key shots, ripping up the floorboards that were protecting him from above, and approaching 70 seconds left in the round as there's not a lot here to do for Dot Dash and Yaga except to utilize these toxic babes to try and slow down the escalation for the plant coming into ventilation. The B bomb is going to be the target for this attack most definitely, as you still have the backside of Workshop locked down. Wrath is going to rappel back down as Tyler and Sharsh meet up at the front door. Sharsh rushing straight in and going to try to initiate a plan at the desk in the middle of the vent door. Lots of shots coming through the walls, but not going to land. Sharsh still trying to stick this plant. The rotate hole covered from above and outside by Wrath, and Yaga will fall. It's all up to Dot Dash, who never got to use a single of his toxic bays. A frag grenade in desperation down towards the rotate hole, not going to land. The last of the skeleton key shots as well, ripping up the floorboards above as Dot Dash just makes a beeline for the front door. Shots traded, but not going to land. And finally, Sharsh from inside of ventilation, who never left his post after sticking the plant, will hit the rotate and clean up the round. And Regime now take the lead 2-1 on border.
Oh, that's a nice clean wall bang from Sharsh right there. And another convincing round from Regime. And while APD did manage to hold out that top floor a bit better than last time, they still didn't manage to deny that plant. And that wall not being completely opened up at the same time that they lost all the top floor defenders. So not really early, but that was admittedly enough time for the attackers with a bunch of options. They had so much at their disposal, all the utility and all the angles that hadn't been opened up yet. They had a lot of choices that they could have done other than just push the main door, but ending up, that's kind of what they did. They just pushed the main door. Wrath ran in with the buck and just stuck the plant right at the single door of ventilation room, and no one could deny it. No smokes thrown, and the Jaeger trying to physically come in with a gun obviously got this rotation watched, and Wrath had another frag right there. So a bit of a lackluster defense at the end, but very nicely played from the side of Regime, able to take a round count lead now. Only one, however, so not exactly securing the map just yet. We've got a long ways to go for both these teams. This can still be anyone's map.
Many bombs as they can.
So back upstairs now will be the APD as they give Vent Workshop 2 runs at it, and unsuccessful both times as the top hold eviscerated quite well the first time around. Good trades back and forth from the APD, just not enough site control, and really when you have the buck of Wrath ripping up the floorboards from above, there's not a lot of control left to be had inside of ventilation for the remaining defenders. EXO, barring that first round where he had a lovely flick onto Wrath on the Archives balcony, a lot of aggressive plays that have just been shut down. Read like a book by Regime so far has been EXO, and unfortunately he's a very significant operator, especially when he's dying so early in the rounds. I believe he's been able to get all his Valk cams out in time, but that's about all he's been able to do. He's been dead for about 2.5 minutes of every single round, and Yaga this time will be the first one to fall as Talon as well getting hyper aggressive with a P90 spraying towards the balconies. Yaga surrendered his life, Talon down to about 50 HP now. Prancing around the bullets, a hailstorm coming through the soft wall of break room, and he's going to heal himself back up as he evacuates in towards Archives. Talon lucky to escape with his life, but the aggressive plays from APD just surrendering their lives for no real good reason.
So as we see here, likely it's not really much of a surprise that this is definitely the map choice regime that we're seeing here. They're a lot more well-versed on it than APD seem to be, and already doing what they need to do, step 1, step 2, step 3, and they know that Bolo is trapped here in the half wall at about 1 HP as well. He's not got much life to work with there. They're just doing everything they need to. This is pretty textbook from the side of Regime at the moment. And so far, the defense hasn't had much to hold on to. EXO does, however, get one single frag back onto Stunna, and that's his first one from the first round all the way to this one now, but traded back by Fish, and our response from Dot and Bolo. And down from Talon as well, and the Ash, and 3 versus 2 in favor of the defenders. So finally a round where Sharsh has to do it all. This is looking likely at the moment for APD to take a second one and yet again tie it up. Dot does manage to get it through the wall. Sharsh goes down at the end there. No chance, seemingly, for the attackers on this top floor defense. Looking like top floor is definitely the much more preferred bomb site for APD at the moment, not winning a single one onto ventilation room, but looking like they have a pretty strong hold even after losing a couple players on the early picks there. EXO going for some stuff there. Excuse me, it was Yaga dying early in that round. I expected would be a bit more impactful than EXO going down, but apparently not. Yaga losing those Legion mines, excuse me, not having much of an effect as the attack pushed in fairly aggressively, fairly quickly, and they all got picked off by, they got picked off by the aggression from the defenders. And while I was saying that this pick comes out, that's an interesting, yeah. On to the Legion. and likely Bolo not going to lose his life as early as Yaga in this case. Maybe they're switching some roles up, maybe talking some things out. And we're actually not going to see a Valkyrie at all in this round. EXO not using those cams to the best of their ability, I guess. They're not really needing the info, so they're going to put him onto a Soul Fragger. So losing the life of EXO is not going to be that big of a deal in this round. Rather than losing a bunch of utility and maybe a Legion pick or a Valkyrie pick, they're just going to put him on a pure Fragger.
Well, with the constant IQ play from Stunna, even with the working out and possible steroid injection that Valkyrie had in the offseason between the updates, Valkyrie Cam is not really coming into play all that much, especially with the IQ electronics dispenser being bumped back up to 20 meters. I mean, it's a pretty good negation of your utility if you're a Valkyrie. So I like the swap up there from EXO. Just
10 seconds left
swap onto something that will help quell the aggression coming out from Regime. As yes, the alibi holograms are not the best utility to really rely on all of your intel gathering, but on a team like Regime that has been pretty aggressive and known to acquire a few team kills from time to time, at least that we saw on Oregon. Maybe a team that's a little hot. Oh. What are you doing, EXO? Easy kill for Fish, and that's once again a sacrificed life for basically no reason. He was checking cams right out beside the window, or not the window, sorry, the partially busted open wall that no one reinforced upstairs. And also interesting to note that it's a customs defense, and yet the spread for the APD not as CCTV focused as I imagine it would be. Talon's gonna grab a kill, but Dot Dash being droned out, and another over-aggressive play coming out from the APD that is just being read by Regime. Yaga the lone man on site is Talon, and Bolo try to hold off offsite. Bolo's made his return to the objective now. It's just Talon holding inside of CCTV, and he's gonna have a hellstorm to deal with as Fish is gonna start bearing down his position.
I just can't get over that one tap that Fish had on the EXO. That was interesting. And this is even more so. Bolo and Talon getting 2 quick kills. Very easy. What is this? They're just running all over the place. Fish gets a frag on a Talon. And a 1 versus 2 is very doable, considering the amount of time that he has to work with on the clock. And a lot of very curious mistakes in the round. What is that from Fish? A wallbang? And a 1 versus 1. Echo is all he has to find, but Yaga, thank goodness, has the angle, and a quick headshot. Fish finishes that round off, but that is a very curious turn of events in that entire. I'm just lost for words.
Idiots! There's 3 minutes in a round.
That was
doing. Everyone's just shift Wing all over the place, not checking anything, not relying on any kind of info. That round was done in like a minute 30, maybe?
Not even.
Slow down. What are you doing, you crazy kids? Last round of the first half, and we're back to vent work here for the APD. What the hell was that round?
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if EXO stuck this pick. They're never going to expect this. And, I mean, there's some times where you try and analyze something, and it's like English, you know? And that round was one of those types of rounds. EXO sitting right beside an open wall where you've known Fish to be playing every single round, watching for those runouts, getting 1 tapped off the bat, losing a man just for nothing. There was no info gain from that, because you know he's there every round, because he's gotten the exact same kill on the same player every round. So that's just throwing a life away for literally nothing. But then all the refrags happen, and the 3 players, for no specific reason, fall from their side. I have to expect it's just their comms are really cluttered or something, because that castle was full sprinting down L hallway. Maybe he thought it was a teammate behind him or something, but again, we mentioned the synergy between these players doesn't seem to be there. If IQ really thought there was a teammate behind him.
Well, yeah, if Stunna had ears, Talon should have been dead. He somehow gets the kill. Stun is deaf. Talon just rips down metal. No regard for his life. No understanding that the entirety of the main lobby had been sacrificed. And here we go again. Wrath inside of CCTV, auto-clearing it. And try and aggressively press up. And I'm just waiting to see what APD is going to pull out. What kind of aggressive overpeak is going to sacrifice them 2 lives?
Yaga has been tagged down, but he does get docked up by Bolo, so anything that's been sacrificed, all that is a dock stim. However, the attack still being fairly quick right now. Stunna already securing that run out, not allowing any more aggressive plays, not even taking the risk. He trusts his teammates, but just wants to make sure. And Etcher on the wall. Shark is already going to start the breach, and player behind it is going to get the trick off. Yes, Exo does manage to get that. And with Talon to support, this is going to be a very tough task to get him out of this position.
Lying in wait with the shotgun prone on the floor, but Stunna will acquire the first kill once again. A frag grenade being launched in. Will down, and that'll be Wrath finishing off Talon and Exo. A quick double kill. And once again, a 5v2. This time it's not the over-aggression of APD surrendering their lives, but this time just a refusal to back off, a well-placed frag grenade, and a flurry of kills on the side of Regime, looking to level things out once again. Tyler's going to drop dot dash, and it's all down to Yaga. The 416 firing skyward will at least land one under the head of Stunna, but prone inside of ventilation is Tyler, who will clean out the round, and once again, it's a round that concludes within 90 seconds. High-paced action. This time it wasn't the APD throwing their lives away for no reason, just a lot of investment into trying to bandit trick and hold that armory wall, and granted, that's a valid strategy. Just a lot of aggression in return coming out from Regime to wrap out their first half. It is showtime indeed, Fish. It is showtime, and I mean, for Wrath, Stunna, and Fish, I mean, they've been on a run the last couple rounds. Took them a minute to get their footing, but now we're in a race. Apparently, it's who can close out the round the fastest now. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you win the round in general, just who can do it faster. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. It's like, okay, so first of all, I don't know if anyone knows this, but Fish, we need to show them the door, because this team, before getting picked up by Regime, their team was actually called Showtime. For anyone in chat that isn't aware. But anyways, apart from that, great push. And that was amazing by the attacking side of Regime. There's basically nothing wrong with that at all. They had likely drones being put in to capture the position of both those players on the other side of Armory Wall, and then a grenade, not even risking a body. They cleanly did that entire thing. First of all, IQ sending the Claymore down, not risking possible run out from the shotgun that was on the smoke. Of course, a shotgun at that range, anyone on this balcony is going to be absolutely just devastated by that force just hitting them in the front. So first of all, not risking any of that. Second of all, sending a nade instead of a player to deal with that smoke with the shotgun that they knew was likely there. That was beautiful. That was 2 quick frags. And then Wrath peeking on in, winning the gunfight against the bandit that wasn't exactly ready for that peek at that time. Still beautiful, and that put it onto a 5v2, and not much chance for the last 2 defenders at that point. And Stunna trying for some more aggression. This time they're going to be the defenders at this point, looking to secure an early frag to early advantage in this round, and he's going to keep peeking. He's not going to give up just yet. They want this so far, and continuing the race at the moment. He's finally going to get put down onto the ground by the side of APD. They're shouting at them with not only guns, but bullets as Exo secures the frag and a stun as he's trying to army crawl away from there. Not going to find anything in that case.
Once again, it's the overextension and the I mean truly aggressive plays from both sides that seem to be the sacrifice that they've been making. There's a rotation in by Fish into break room, so gun down Yaga, but immediately traded out by Talon. Is here we go again, the foot race. Who can finish out the round faster? We're 60 seconds deep. We only got 30 seconds left, according to these guys. Wrath still holding a pixel angle in behind that deployable shield, and Tyler once again trying to vault up on top of the bookshelves inside of Archives. He's got 2 at the radio window, a third one filing in. Tyler will take down 1, but a vault in through a nice hole from the skeleton key on trip wall. Tyler will back down off his position, but pressing straight through into Fountain. Spotted out now by Wrath's Echo drone, and Tyler's trying to hold his ground inside of Archives and repel this push. Maybe extend the round to last at least 120 seconds. Here come the X-Kairos onto the Archives wall. His wooden door gets blown open, and Tyler, if he was a 3-speed, can make that run without being detected. A wide peek here. He spots the shadow, and he's going to light up the backside of Talon. He'll escape with about 5 HP left, and with 80 seconds left, the fight descends from the attacking side into Archives.
That's a lot of utility being dumped into the face of Tyler, and Talon's finally going to finish him off after the grenade does its work. 1 minute remaining. This is kind of been the longest round that we've seen so far, but the plant's already going down. The attackers are looking to shorten this round timer, but Equilibrium's going to get away with at least one denial in part with a smoke fade up into the archives, and Wrath with another kill. Exo does find one in return. The bomb does go down. The smoke fade not going to do very much from Sharsh. 1 versus 2 now. And this is very, very winnable from him. Talon is put at about 1 HP, so a single bullet from either the SMG-11 or a pellet from the shotgun. It's going to be enough to down Talon. But no, Talon's going to be actually the one to get the frag and a Sharsh, holding that very good angle with the ACOG, playing that gun to its absolute finest. Look at that. Sees the quick peek and takes the shot without any hesitation. That was great from them, securing that 2 versus 1. And while it was winnable for the smoke on the defending team, the attackers just played that all too well, not allowing any different extension. And that is 4-3, another lead for APD so far in this game.
It's not often you see games like this. It's not often we see plants being attempted with a minute left being considered late into the round. Usually that's a very fast pace for an attacking team. But nonetheless, we got a lot of surprises in store for us. And also, APD taking the lead after the first round of the second half. Their first round of attack will extend them a 1-round lead, a 4-3 advantage right now on Border. All they need is 3 more to wrap up this best of 2 and secure the first win in CCS in North America for Season 4. We have not had one yet in a best of 2 series. Both the Wednesday games were draws at 1 apiece as far as map count. So the APD, the reigning Season 3 champions with a roster change, looking to continue that dominance, but they're clearly running into a little bit of a roadblock here with the aggression that's coming in kind from Regime. This is something we also didn't see from a lot of teams last season, is an aggressive pace that was able to keep up with the APD last season. The APD, when they wanted to turn it on, when they wanted to get aggressive like this, there was not really any stopping them. If they wanted to play slow and controlled, they could control the pace of the game and keep things slow, but once they wanted to ramp up, it was over. With a snap of their fingers, they decided games. They didn't just speed up for the sake of it's a new tactic. It was, we're taking control of this game and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Regime, for all their flaws, seemed to be quelling the storm decently. It's gone back and forth as far as the aggressive plays and who's been throwing the hardest with them.
I mean, we've seen EXO go for a couple runouts that haven't exactly worked out so far, but they're still in the lead, so they've definitely done some stuff right in their side. Regime certainly knowing a lot about what to do in this map. All their attacks, as we've clearly seen, have been extremely, extremely fast. And testament to how well both of these teams, not just Regime, have the understanding of how to play Border at its core as a map. And so far, even this round, not even talking about the other ones, but EXO as a Thermite, for whatever reason, is already inside of open area, clearing everything out. And it looks like they're doing a very good job of clearing out this bottom floor, as we don't see any players from the defending team lurking down there. The closest one's going to be this Jaeger. Stunner Boy looking for a single pick, but not going to find anything, and not risking his life any more than he needs to at this point. This is fairly slow, and this is, like I said, last round was kind of the slowest round. At this point, no picks have been had, and a minute has already been elapsed from the clock. So this round so far is absolutely the slowest round that we've seen on Border, and only now, a minute 20 into the round, has any damage been done, and West Balcony's been opened up by the attackers.
First peek comes out from Wrath, and Fish as well is going to take a bullet to the shins. EXO, though, is going to try and waltz into sight, and he'll grab Sharsh before immediately being traded out by the MP5 SD of Wrath behind his deployable shield. And Tyler's going to relocate as well, trying to bust his way into the small office as Iago holds down from the locker sandwich window with the Mark 17 and the face shield, the most important aspect of that. A flank coming out from Fish and towards CCTV now as he makes his way halfway through break room. Tyler, though, is going to get cut down by the L85 of Dot Dash. Drones coming in, dissecting the map in half and making sure that Yaga is secure in his position, and now a Russian from Dot Dash. He tries to cordon off the remaining defender, but there comes that flank from Fish to eliminate Talon, and there goes Wrath as well with the MP5 SD onto Bolo. Lots of shots being missed at the wall. Now the Deagle to finish it off from Fish. The clutchest of flanks into CCTV. A Nitro Cell detonated very prematurely and very, very far away from anyone and anything of consequences. Yaga will now rotate. He's lost diffuser up against the armory wall. Fish laying prone inside a CCTV up against the soft wall. And Yaga has complete site control, but no diffuser to plant with. And now Fish laying prone at the opposite end, just making a pair of prone holes for himself. He's going to hit his initial one, and he's going to light up the shield, but not finish off Yaga. And now he's got to dance back and forth as pings come out up against Yaga. 13 seconds. He's going to try and stick a plant. It's a bad spot here as the door gets broken open. It's just going to be a bait to pull Yaga off the plant. Now there's not enough time. They have to engage in the gun battle, and Fish is going to win it out with the MPX and Regime. Level round count once again at a 4v4. A beautiful 3K on the flank from Fish with the MPX, and a round-saving, possibly series-saving flank there from Fish through CCTV.
Proving himself the better, American operator there. Going up against a Blackbeard, nothing to be messed with, considering...
Sorry about that.
Three different operators, and especially a Blackbeard at that as well.
You good? All right. Continue your thought. You're good. Vent work. Have fun. I wanted to drink my water.
But yeah, so a great play by Fish there on the Valkyrie. Not only secure, like 1, 2, 3, okay, 3 different frags there, and pinnacle of such onto the Blackbeard, clutching the round out, and that's no easy task. Not only is it Yaga, a very capable player, but also a Blackbeard with a face shield. So that means headshots are ruled out in that gunfight, and he didn't even. He had the discipline not to even go for them. He destroyed one shield. So that means he could have had the possibility of having the confidence of maybe the fact that he didn't have a second shield and go for a headshot and try to end the fight a bit faster, but he trusted his own aim and maybe his own movement abilities to outmaneuver the Blackbeard, and that he so did. He won the gunfight, and albeit Yaga was a bit lit up, if I'm correct. He had a bit, Fish had the slight health advantage in that fight, but even still, with the rifle of Blackbeard being such a damage dealer, and the Valkyrie MPX being exactly the opposite, Fish absolutely managing to clutch that round. That was beautiful play from him, that flank as well, and everything, and that puts them even on man count, or excuse me, not just man count, but round count at the moment, 4-4, and this map seemingly very, very even between these two teams. Not even a single. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen a 2-round lead yet in this map.
On Border, I think you're correct. I think we're going the same kind of game script as we saw in Oregon, except last round was the divergence on Oregon. We saw a 5-3 lead, and then a 6-4. Ping's coming out, and there goes Exo, losing his life once again to Fish early on. The first man to fall. The thermite charge coming out downstairs. Bolo's going to trade things out the one to Tyler. The nitro cell gets evacuated in towards the armory door. Another beautiful shot there from Fish on the MPX, showing maximum proficiency with the weapon. Still standing his ground inside of armory. Only 45 seconds elapsed, and we got 3 casualties thus far. Fish playing close up on the armory wall that's been breach open and going to go for a rush into CCTV. There was a flank drone watching, but no call comes out. Bolo gets tagged in the backside on the 180. Can't land the shots, trying to evacuate. Fish cannot escape, and Bolo shuts him down with the 5-7, leveling man count at a 3v3 with Stunna on 5 HP, walked in behind the radio desk.
That is such a big frag for Bolo, and not just because he took out a player that's been on fire so far, but that evens at the man count, and Stunna lit up to about 1 health only. He's not going to get a reset. There's no way. There's 1 minute 40 left in the round, and that's admittedly not much time considering how fast these rounds have been going, and especially because Dot does get a frag on a charge, and all that's left to do now is find 1 bullet onto the Jaeger. Wrath with it full HP, he has it all to do right now on the site defense, and nothing to be found. Talon with the 1 onto him, and all that's left is this Jaeger, but a 2K from him. That's very quick, and here's the opportunity to get a third. But no, Bolo, with his prowess with any gun, has the headshot onto the Jaeger, shutting him down finally, and that was a very, very close round. A lot of pressure on this guy's back, but 5-4 for APD. That was a round that should not have gotten as close as it did. That Jaeger apparently not being droned out at the end, managing to get 2 very quick surprise kills on the attackers. I don't really know what to say about that one.
Stunna just accidentally walking into a possible 3-piece and just unable to hit the final shot onto Bolo at the depths over by half wall. That, like you said, that round shouldn't have come that close, and Stunna was not droned out. Like I said at the 145 mark of the round, he was still just laying prone, like 5 HP behind radio desk, and just hit his flank a little late, unfortunately, as well as his sight players started to collapse and fall to the peak holes in the floorboards. But almost able to pull it back out. EXO going to swap off the blitz and head to a Finca on the 6th pick. I don't know, because Fish has been landing the headshots with the MPX. I don't know if a Finca is going to help you much, EXO. I think maybe just waiting for the drone to get in would have been a good idea. And actually, on that round, he did wait for the drone to get in. The pings were coming out onto Fish right behind the locker up against the A-bomb, and yet Fish just able to win out. He's been dominant on the Valkyrie, just proving that maybe he is the better Valk. Maybe he is the Valk in this matchup.
He's definitely the Valk player, as we've seen. Not just that, but I'm pretty sure this guy, he is the player that wants his team to win right now. Of course, everyone wants to win on the server, but Fish, he is not only top fragging his team, but he is top fragging everyone in Border at the moment. 14-6. That is mind-blowing. And they are down around. That is the next big thing about them, because Fish has managed to get big kills on flanks, on EXO, multiple different times, on multiple different rounds, not only on attack, but also, I'm pretty sure the primary frag of the previous round just collapsed. But EXO, yet again, going to be running straight in through Passport. They're not stopping. They're just going straight in. These guys, I mean, they have a response time of cops, I guess, and Fish with a quick kill on Bolo, but EXO trades one back onto Stunna, and the Think is already deep in his sight. Pulse is not going to know what hit him. The ADS time. EXO is going to prove much too much for Wrath and Charge, but BB finally with a response, and Talon with the one as well, and Fish all to do at the moment. 1 versus 2. And for some reason, less than a minute has elapsed in the round, and only 3 operators left in this map. Fish has so much time to work with, and the information as well being by the cams, and however he just walks into the free fire of Talon, unfortunately. And that was I mean, you gotta give some credit to APD there, managing to pull it back from just chaos, and they just get their feet on the ground yet again. EXO rushing in on the site. That was good 2 picks by him, but there's some stuff to be said about the awareness of the players playing on the bomb site. That Pulse was just kind of looking the wrong direction at the wrong time, I guess you could say. And of course, the Finca pick, which you doubted a bit, and admittedly I did too.
Hey man, you proved me wrong. He's going for it again, man. For all the power to you, EXO. If you can make something work that's not going to result in you being the first man off the board every single round, then by all means, go for it, bud. But this is what I'm talking about. This is what we saw last season from APD. He's going to swap off to the Ying now. Same level of aggression, really. And I mean, same caliber of awful weapon. Yeah, Sharsh, it's not been a good night for him. Currently rocking a 1-8 scoreline on Border. On Oregon, wasn't having the greatest time either. Just unfortunate night for Sharsh. And now Armory Lockers, to try and keep themselves in this, will be Regime as its match point and series point. Possibility for our first. Like I said a couple times now, possibility for the very first 2-0 in these best of 2s in Season 4 in North America. Backs against the wall for Regime to fight back out of. And honestly, if it's going to happen, Fish needs some help. The last couple rounds, it's just been Fish against the world.
That's something that can't happen. And like you pointed out, Sharch being at 1 frag, it's been unfortunate for him, but I'm not gonna lie, being caught out in these kinds of situations is not entirely their fault, but at the same time, there's stuff they could probably do to avoid these kinds of situations, like, I don't know, call out maybe. I don't know how their team comms are like right now, but being rushed down like that can't be very good for their morale at this point. And they're seemingly like they want to go for it again. EXO's gonna rush straight in. All the way in a break room, going some free fires to the wall. He's not going to let up on the trigger just yet. Stun is the only person that's able to respond to them at this very moment. We saw at the beginning of the round, Talon was the one player that was droning in for the entire team, and everyone just solo entry into the map. And Fish with some info, but that's all they have to play off of. I was going to miss that bandit trick, and the wall's going to already get opened in less than a minute elapsed, and that's not very much of a surprise in this round, as I'm pretty sure the previous was completely over within 1 minute, in fact. And Exo's going to be... Okay, that's...
Exo? Hello? Good, bud? 5 HP just walks straight into the toxic smoke, and he'll surrender his life for basically no reason. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's Stunner or Fish who's made his way inside of the couches inside of break room. It's Fish. He's just laying prone in behind the couches as Bolo tries to light up some shots to the wall. Using the Inox sensor, not going to detect Fish, who's made it in on the backside, and he's just laying in wait, waiting for the perfect time. He also has support from Stunna to file in on the secondary for 416. You can see the last 4 remaining attackers here for the APD all amassing outside of the armory wall as we approach the midway point in the round. Things slowing down now for APD as Regime look to, like I said, keep themselves alive in this. The drones amassing outside of the small office wall, trying to spot out anyone holding their pixel angles, and Yaga trying to assess and mirror that angle on the rappel, but just not tight enough against the wall to do so. More drones coming up, and they're going to spot out possibly the Yokai there. Not sure if Yokai was detected, but Tyler will be the one to fall instead of Fish. We're still waiting on this flank to come in through. One of the defenders sacrificed. Talon is going to take down Fish, and that's that flank dispatched of. We still have Stun to worry about the top metal, but here comes the smoke canister to stop the visibility of anyone inside a small office. The sprays come through the wall, and they're not going to land. Dot dash extending deep, but Sharsh rushing through the shotgun gets 2. Yaga trades it right back down to a 2v2. The Yokai going to still provide the utility and disorient Yaga, but he wins out on the gunfight. Down to the 1v2. Stunner to keep themselves alive. Inside of Archives, pings coming out on the Yokais from in behind half wall. You've got one of Talon covering over by the armory wall. The drone shot out immediately. The plant being initiated now by Yaga, and Stun is going to start to rush up. Hits the sprint, but falls right back to the metal half wall. Here comes the shots in from Talon. He's dropped down to 1 HP. Turning the corner, and Stun gets them both. As he had previously downed Talon, Regime fight off elimination for at least one more round.
You can tell he's happy about that one. Just look at this right now. But we said that Fish needed to step up in that round, and that Fish, or excuse me, not Fish, but he needed some help. And we said that Sharsh needed to step up in that round. And as you saw, 2 frags from Sharsh. If I'm correct, that was, what is it, 2 or 3? Because he's sitting at 4 frags right now. He got 2 very quick frags with the shotgun pushing up very aggressively on that west balcony breach. And it worked out for their team, evening up the man count and putting them in a temporary advantage, admittedly, and Stunna doing the rest of the work, pulling their team the rest of the way to win that round out. And they're still alive in this map. They're not done just yet. One more round for them, and they'll go into overtime. But EXO, he wants to finish this map out. It's clearly his day, and he's going to have to do something else other than just die to his smoke at the beginning of the round if he wishes to do that. Switching off from a Ying to a Ying, likely going to still keep that aggressive plays, but Bolo on the Ashe now, no longer on the Jackal. And looking at this lineup, Sophia, Sledge, Ashe, and Buck, this is filled with utility, but also at the same time, if they wanted to, they could, like you said, hit that switch and just go absolutely in and full send it. If they managed to do that and catch the defenders off guard once again, who knows what this round could turn into.
Vent work defense to push us to overtime. If not, we'll have a mirrored scoreline between both the maps. A 7-5 on Oregon was our first score for APD. And now the possibility to garner the same result on Border. A 6-5 right now for APD. Still with their backs against the wall, our Regime, and bringing out a Castle. Most likely to try and quell this aggression coming out from the APD. I don't know how well it's going to do, because you mentioned all the soft destruction on the side of the APD. You have Dot Dash, who could use X-Skyros if he needed to, but you've got Yaga and Talon, Exo, and Bolo, who all have very, very decent soft destruction who can dispatch of castle barricades with ease. I don't know how much those castle barricades are going to do to really slow down the APD. It looks like they're going to go for a full send on the Tellers rush. Bolo straight in, along with Exo and Yaga straight in from Tellers. Here comes the response now, and shots coming up from above the Tellers hatch. That's going to be Stunna shutting down Bolo. Exo gets finished off by Fish as well. It's quickly down to a 5v3 for the APD to battle out of. Over-aggression. The issue here for the APD is they're getting caught off on these single file rushes. Tyler is going to take down Dot Dash, and all indications point that we are going to overtime for the first time this evening.
I don't know what there is really left for these two players to do. There is one for them to find here in Archives, but is he going to be ready for this angle? No, he's not. That's going to win that gunfight. That's the defuser drop as well. Yaga with an ace left to do if he wants to take this map right off the bat, but not very likely. He does find a 1 on a Wrath, and it's